Good morning, Year 2. So we start off our Monday with science. It's actually my favourite topic that we're looking at, which is habitats, because it's just a lot of fun. I hope you've had fun so far looking at the rainforest and the desert. Now we're going to move on to looking at the Arctic. So Mr. Rukshi has kindly put this PowerPoint together, and I know that it has quite a lot of information for you over this half-hour lesson. So you don't need to look through all of it. That is information on the Arctic, the ocean, and the rainforest. But for today's activity, we're just going to look at the Arctic and animals, living things that live here. So you might want to just look at those two slides. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing your pictures, especially Amir's, the artist. I'd love you to draw a polar bear, or find a picture if you want, and around it, just give me some information on how you think it has adapted. So I've got a cold. Now, this is a really interesting part of the topic. Now, how do living things adapt or change to suit where they live? So it's all very clever. Because these living things live in these habitats because it is perfect conditions. They are very well suited to it. Now we've looked at the camel before and the cactus in the desert. Now we know they are very well suited to the desert, a very hot, dry area, because they can go a very long time without water. Okay? And say the camel has very thick eyelashes to stop the sand coming in. Right, and so we're going to look at the Arctic. And for example, the polar bear is a really interesting animal because it can really only survive in areas such as the Arctic. Now, it's not just, say, the North Pole, but it's areas such as Canada, so North America, parts of Russia even, so the very top, very cold. Now it's got thick white fur to keep it warm, and of course it's white, so it's camouflaged in the ice, because to survive they need to hunt, don't they? They're a predator. They have thick pads on their paws, again, so to stop any ice going between their paws and to stop them from feeling the cold. Now their thick fur as well has got a very thin layer on top of it, which is quite shiny. So it means that when it does go in the water to catch its prey or food, and it comes out, doesn't mean that the water soaks in quickly and again makes it cold. It just seems to brush off. Okay, so it's quite clever. And what else with the polar bear? I could talk for ages about this animal. It's got a thick layer of fat called blubber underneath its fur. And again, that's just to keep it warm and also to protect itself. It's a really good swimmer, actually, even though it's quite a heavy animal, the bear. It can walk for very long distances, and the food that it needs is also found in the Arctic. So you won't find many trees, so it's not going to be a herbivore. It eats fish, even small seals. It's probably the top predator in the Arctic area. I think that could be it, actually. So yeah, really interesting animal. So I think your challenge as well, if you get onto this, is to just have a look at the shark and say to me why it is suited to areas such as the ocean and not to, say, a river. So, for example, you can switch me off if you want. A shark, first of all, lives in the water because it does actually breathe oxygen, but through its gills. They're like small flaps on its skin. Okay, it's almost like an outside lung, right? So just breathe oxygen underwater. It's cold-blooded, and that means that it needs to be in warm water to survive. So you wouldn't find it, say, in the Arctic waters, would you? Now, rivers are quite small, and sharks can be quite large, So it needs plenty of space, and also to survive they need their food. So wherever their food is, a shark would follow. So just have a really good think about the shark as well for me. But your task for today, which I've just said I really am looking forward to seeing your drawings more than anything, is to draw a picture of a polar bear for me, and just around it tell me why it is perfectly suited to the Arctic habitat. Right, I'll stop talking now and enjoy.